Hey guys, Caleb Calhoun here with Off the Hook Sports, here to bring you a quick recap of Tennessee basketball's SEC tournament win over Ole Miss while I'm walking my dog right now. Yes, this is the dog you guys sometimes hear in the morning. His name is Sirius, by the way. Some people think he looks like Smokey, but he's not. He's a totally different breed. I wanted to talk a little bit about this game. As you guys all know, Dave Hooker and I both believe that Tennessee basketball sort of just chucked the SEC tournament. There was no reason to take it seriously. Given the fact that the selection committee does not take it into account, there is no reason for teams that are not on the bubble or are not trying to play to get in with the automatic bid to play hard. Tennessee's not on the bubble, they're in. So you would have thought, particularly with some injury issues, that they would just want to get healthy for next week. But that wasn't the case. Honestly, early on, it looked like it was though. Tennessee was losing 25-19 to Ole Miss with about 10 minutes to go. And we had said earlier in the day that Ole Miss was a matchup issue, and when you combine that with the fact that Tennessee has no real reason to take this tournament seriously, it was a little bit shocking that Tennessee turned it around after trailing 25-19. They ended up leading 39-33 at halftime, and they were just too much for Ole Miss in the second half, and they won 70-55. Ole Miss was a matchup problem because of their defensive issues and the way they were in that 1-3-1 matchup zone, which can be tricky for a lot of teams. But with Kermit Davis not there, you have to question how effectively they were able to run that the last few games. I think they finished the regular season like 1-6 or 1-7. They did win Wednesday against South Carolina, but this is not a good basketball team. So it made sense that Tennessee was able to really pull away. I think what really stood out though was a couple of things. Tennessee wasn't able to win it with their suffocating defense that forces turnovers all the time. They actually had to score efficiently out of their half-court sets. And honestly, they did a pretty good job of that. Santi Vescovi had 15 points. It wasn't the most efficient 15 points ever, but he still got 15 points. The real story is Josiah James had 20 points. He shot like 4 of 11 from 3, I think. Obviously, whenever Josiah plays like that, Tennessee has a great chance of winning, but that's so streaky with him. Him being healthy now and having a week to rest, you might think that he has a better chance of doing that in the tournament, but we haven't seen that from Josiah since he's been at Tennessee. It's usually off and on with three-point shooting. Another big standout, though, was off the bench. Julian Phillips came off the bench. He had been hurt towards the end of the season, and he came away with roughly 8 points. Now he seems to be getting back into a rhythm. I don't know how much you play him on Friday, given the fact that you're still trying to get him healthy, but it was a good sign for Tennessee that he was roughly 3 of 6 from the field and seemed like he was able to be effective. You obviously want him come March. Tennessee is still trying to find itself without Zakai Zeigler. They may have done a little bit of that against Ole Miss. The big thing was they were 12 of 14 from the free throw line. They got to shoot in the 80% range from free throws to go far in the tournament because, quite honestly, they don't have a lot of advantages elsewhere. They don't have that many three-point shooters. And as good as their defense is, losing Zakai Zeigler hurts that aspect. So they showed a lot of good things today. They're going to play Missouri tomorrow. Even though Missouri was the higher seed. Sorry, that was a dog barking. That is not my dog, I promise you guys. That's another dog who sees my dog through this fence. Okay, so getting past that, even though Missouri's the higher seed in the tournament, I think most of us believe pretty strongly Tennessee's the better team. It's going to be hard to see. I mean, I know Missouri did beat Tennessee at Thompson-Boling that one time. That was such a fluke game, though. And I don't see that happening again. That was a really weird game for Tennessee. And so I think they'll actually get the better of Missouri in this one if they're trying to win. At which point they'll make it to Saturday, which who saw that coming earlier in the year? So I think overall this win means very little unless you want to repeat as being the tournament champion, the SEC tournament champion. And quite honestly, given how little I think of Tennessee's chances in the NCAA tournament, at least that tournament championship is another banner to hang. But we'll see what Tennessee brings to the table tomorrow. They definitely showed that their depth is still an advantage, even without Zakai Zeigler in this game. And so maybe on Friday, they'll be able to show even more what they can do. They're still trying to retool. If you want to make a case for them to try to keep winning in the SEC tournament, is they got to find some sort of rhythm and rotation and roles for players without Zeigler. They seem to find a little bit of that today, but we'll find out throughout the rest of the tournament if that was more just Josiah shooting well from 3 or if they have figured out something. We'll be back on tomorrow to talk about this, so please tune in. Thanks for tuning in to me today while I walk my dog, who is hearing a lot of sights and sounds right now. We'll be back on tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, as usual. With Off the Hook Sports, this has been Caleb Calhoun. Thanks a lot. Have a good one, guys.